It's been a couple of weeks since that fateful night. Ever since, Hitoshi and I hang out more and became closer, occasionally hanging out during lunch as well. Today, our hero training, All Might had us divided into 4 teams of 5 to 6 to track down our opposing team and capture them in a capture tape. We were in the gym Gemma, and someone that we used right after our hero internships. I was teamed up with Sue, Bakugo, Momo, and Tokiyami. Our opponent for this round were Kaminari, Mina, Ida, Shoji, and Shinsou. I began fiddling with the ends of my sleeves of my costume, as my group had discussed various tactics to search for our opponents. Tokiyami, Sue, and Momo were in Group 1, and would go along the alleyways of town in search of the others. Meanwhile, Bakugo and I would be Group 2 and would take the rooftops and search from above. Well, that was the plan at least. All Might sounded an alarm throughout the course, indicating that it was time for us to stop discussing and start searching. Group 1 had started to explore the alleys, and Bakugo and I climbed up to the roofs. But we all know Bakugo. "Fuck off, you extra. I'll do it on my own," he snarled at me, starting to go ahead of me to the roofs. I sighed. Why did they put me with him? We need to work together or we'll be screwed on our own. Just work with me for once. In your own goddamn life. As expected, he just ignored me and continued to jump further away into the city. Just perfect. Guess I'm flying solo on this round. I jumped from one roof to another, rolling to blunt my landing. Carefully, I ran along one of the pipes and looked around to check for any other opponents. Kaminari Denki has been captured. All Might's voice rang out throughout the area, along with a loud boom of a cannon. I guess he'll keep us updated in who is safe. Reminds me of the Hunger Games. Ooh. Spotting movement on a rooftop couple buildings away, I crouched down to focus on the movement. I could sense who it was, Ida, running towards my direction. Letting him approach, I edged ever so closer to the building's edge and stayed hidden from sight. Just then, he jumped over from where I was hiding, and I pounced. When he was in the air, I popped up with a tape in my right hand. He didn't even seem to see it. So I used my element of surprise to my advantage. I tackled the blue-haired boy, and we fell onto the cement rooftop. He had used the momentum of the fall to his advantage, kicking me off of him so that we both landed on our backs, except I practically bounced onto the soles of my combat boots skillfully. Momo Yaoyorozu has been kidnapped. Oh, not kidnapped, has been captured. Oh my god. With another big cannon boom echo throughout the gym Gemma, I cringed a bit, knowing that the team of 3 must have come across several others of our opponents. I twisted to the side so that I could see Ida, and used my quirk immediately. Sending a burst of electrical energy towards the teen, he escaped half of the shock, but staggered a bit while getting back up to face me. Using his momentum as a weakness, I lunged and spun a piece of tape around his left arm. I kicked the back of his knee in, and his leg gave in to the force. He swung his opposite arm and landed a firm blow to my stomach. Wincing from pain, I pushed the boy back onto his back with my right leg, essentially a Sparta kick into the submission. But I put all my weight onto my leg that was in the middle of his back, adding just a little bit of smidge of gravity energy to keep him in place. Sorry, Ida. I wrapped the tape completely around him and tore off the seal of the capture. Tenya Ida has been captured. Another boom, and All Might's powerful voice met my ears. Mentioned boy flipped around, and I helped him get up while giving him a handshake of respect. Good job, Len. I didn't see you coming at all. I chuckled a bit at the formal boy. Thanks, Ida. You almost had me there. He then gave me a small smile. I think his helmet was still on, so, I'll be heading back to the Supervince Arrow then. Good luck. And with that, he left. Taking a couple of deep breaths, I caught my breath and prepared to run. Mina Ashido has been captured, along with the vibrating boom of the cannon. Where the hell did they get a cannon? Where were they shooting it? Whatever, it's UA. They can do what the hell they want, I guess. Almost immediately after, another message followed. Bakugo Katsuki has been captured, and I'm gonna butcher Tomoyaki Funawa has been captured. I'm so sorry. 2 booms this time. I thought that Bakugo met up with Group 1, so he must have fought Hitoshi. He probably spoke, so that's his fault for being such a hothead. If Group 1 fought together, I would guess that Sue was the only one left. Overall, Sue, Hitoshi, Zoji, and I were the only ones left. Now, who will I run into first? I did sense the energies of everyone in the area and felt that Soji was the closest to me at the moment. Using one of my new moves I had just learned, I canceled the sound energy around me to make sure he wouldn't hear anything coming. He was in the alleyway and I was watching from above. Carefully, I waited for the best time to attack. 3, 2, 1, now! I slung my body over the edge of the building, plummeting towards the 6-armed boy while remaining silent and deceiving my gravitational energy to soften my fall. I unwound some of the tape and held it between my arms. As I came closer, I aimed my body and carefully landed. My arms around Soji's body. With one motion, I had tape around the front half of his body, and with no time to waste, I brought the tape roll to meet the beginning of the strip. I'm gonna butcher his first name, but I'm actually never gonna try, Soji has been captured. The boy in front of me was astonished, staring at me with wide eyes. Once he realized what had just happened, he formed a mouth on one of his arms. Good job, Lynn. That was a good plan. Good luck, he said before walking off as I gave him a cheeky smile and waved. I sighed and stretched out my legs a bit before heading inside the closest building. There should be just Sue, Hitoshi, and I left. Sensing the area once more, I could feel 2 people facing off against one another. Fuck, Sue is against Hitoshi. I climbed the stairs of the building as fast as I could, as it was a race against time to make it to the 2 against 1. I know Sue can use her quirk well, but it's just a wonder how strong Hitoshi has gotten, and whatever or not Sue will actually speak. I swore from building to building, sprinting towards the 2 and keeping my balance on the pipes. Everything was going well until... Oh shit! I landed poorly onto a building and rolled my ankle. Ow, 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 ow! There's no time to whine. I propped myself up and leaned against the building ledge to test my ankle. Okay, feels like shit. That's cool. Tsuyu Azui has been captured. Oh cool, just me and Wonder Boy, and my wrecked ankle. This was going to be rough. He's gotten a lot better, and with my ankle, he was probably stronger than me at this point. Well, this is going to be quite the showdown. More carefully this time, I began to close the distance between us by moving along rooftops. Then, I heard a familiar voice. Singing? That bastard! I bared my teeth, clutching them to stay quiet. He was using my voice and his voice moderator and mimicking my singing of that song I wrote about him. Hitoshi had known the specific melody because he managed to make me sing it out for him a couple nights ago. As he approached the building I was waiting on, I jumped down, trying to use the same strategy I used on Soji with him. I landed on my good left ankle and wrecked himself away from my grasp, slightly cursing him as he stopped singing. He smirked at me. Did you like my little performance? Ever since Hitoshi had joined the class, I learned curses in sign language, and the boy were they useful right now. He had learned a bit from whatever we would fight with quirks, and mischievous looks glinted in his eyes. Aw, don't give me the silent treatment, Yen. Don't you like me? He fake pouted with a tease. I set my hand on fire and threw a large flame at the tired boy in front of me. He dodged and came closer to me with his hands around his scarf. He sent one end towards me, and I enhanced the gravitational energy around it and Hitoshi himself. He stumbled a bit before regaining his posture and sending another attack. The scarf wrapped itself around my wrist before I could even stop it, and dragging me closer to my opponent, I sent a wave of electricity towards the boy and aimed a left kick towards his chest as I pulled closer towards him. Being shocked, his grip around my waist loosened a bit and I slid out of his grasp. With one hand still in the scarf, I yanked it and used the momentum to fly in the air above Hitoshi. Still holding on, I threw the end of the scarf into his face. Momentarily blocking his vision, I kicked the inside of his knee just like I did to Ida, and he retaliated with a sweeping kick that hit my bad right ankle first. Removing the scarf from his face, he sent the end back towards me and wrapped it around my arm. From his kick, I couldn't help but let out a sharp gasp and intake of air. As the flash of pain went up my leg, well, that's not ideal, I used some wind energy to keep myself upright, but couldn't seem to get the scarf off my arm. Groaning slightly, I leaned some weight onto my bad leg. I pulled the scarf towards me to pull the purple boy into close combat range. He stumbled forward, but quickly caught himself and started to charge towards me. He sent the strong right hook that I dodged, and I retaliated with an elbow to his face. Knocking him back, he regained his focus and grabbed the knee of my bad leg, while pushing my chest back with his shoulder. A small scream of pain slipped through my lips as I fell onto the ground with Shinsou pushing me down. His left hand was still holding my sore knee, causing me to lose focus because of the pain. I hissed and gave a light-ditch attempt to get the tape around him. I stuck the end of the roll onto his chest and threw it around his body. He managed to catch the roll before I could grab it, and smirked beneath his mask. He pinned my arms down, and I was defenseless in front of the boy. Well, this wasn't how I expected it to go. I was still clenching my teeth as the pain shot up my leg. I guess I win this time, Yin. Rolling my eyes at the boy, I tried to ignore the pain in my leg as he casually wrapped the tape around me. Yin Lin has been captured. Team E wins. A final cannon went off, and All Might's enthusiastic voice reverberated throughout the course. Can you get off me now, Hitoshi? I did pant, as I was at the grinning boy who was proud of outlasting both teams. He did as such, and helped me up after he stood. I winced as I tried to put some weight onto my bad leg, and the supposed sprain had gone even worse during our fight. Hitoshi looked back at me with great concern. Whoa, Yin, you alright? Did I do that? He came up to my side and placed an arm around my waist to support my weight. I shook my head. No, I rolled it while I was trying to get to you and Sue at first. The fight didn't help much. Laughing awkwardly, I attempted to walk or hop while leaning on Shinsou. It wasn't going too well. The boy I was leaning on sighed. This is going to take forever to get you to surveillance room, Yin. And how else am I supposed to get there? Like this? He stopped and suddenly swept me off my feet, carrying me in bridal style casually. I couldn't stop the heavy blush from overtaking my face. You sir, Hitoshi? Looking into his deep purple eyes as slid off the mask of his face. A small smile graced my face. He looked down at me. Yes, I'm sure, Yin. You can either hook an arm around my neck or just lean against me. Whatever is more fine and comfortable with you. Plus, if we did this your way, we would have gotten there a day later. Swinging an arm around his neck as he said, I leaned my head against his chest, thanking for the purple boy right now holding me. What would I do without you, Toshi? Probably die, Yin. It's nickname, but I'm not gonna say that because I feel really bad for He brought us back to the rest of the class, who were waiting for our arrival. He lightly placed me down, still holding an arm securely around my waist to keep me upright. All Might went through the activity with the class, reviewing each and every one of our strong and weak points in a prospective fight. My head started to fall until it landed on Hitoshi's shoulders. I probably overused my quirk, trying to keep my eyes open. I held onto Shinsou's strong bicep to stand up. Finally, All Might sent those who were injured to Recovery Girl, and Hitoshi had carried me once again, bridal style once more. I closed my eyes and let my head hit his chest, exhausted and just wanting to sleep or have a nice gallon of black coffee, or whatever you want, at this point. Little did I know a certain pink girl and green-haired girl who were both watching me with suggestive looks. As he placed me onto the bed, Hitoshi shook me awake slightly. Recovery Girl came by and gave me a kiss to heal up my leg. The purple boy nudged me before I could pass out and told me, "What? Save some energy for me." when you So you have some energy? Huh? I raised an eyebrow, muttering quietly. You, Sir Toshi? He grabbed my hand and placed it down on his. Go ahead. I'm not that injured. Reluctantly, I siphoned a bit of my energy from the boy and moved over to pat the bed beside me. You're gonna need some rest, too. I patted the bed sheets, and he climbed into bed beside me. Only a few minutes passed, and we were both passed out. Third person POV. Before the two teenagers had passed out, the curtains around them were closed, luckily. They didn't notice that two curious girls who had been peeking. The two cuddled together peacefully on the bed. Mina's eyes sparkled at the sight, and she started squealing and jumping up and down while patting Sue's arm. Oh my god, 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 she whispered as the girl just smiled. She didn't say a thing to me about this. Ooh, she's so getting it when she's awake. Recovered girls started pushing the two out of the room. Girls, go back to class before you wake up my patients. Bouncing along the halls, Mina mumbled quietly to herself, and Sue, oh, I'm so telling everyone before she wakes up. 2 hours later, your POV. Yawning, I opened my eyes, squinting the lights above me. Where am I? I muddled quietly and turned to see Hitoshi sleeping while cuddling me at the same time. I checked the time on my phone, which someone must have brought in for me, and saw that school was half an hour before we would be let out. I looked at the sleeping boy beside me and slightly booped his nose and slightly pushed him out of my grasp. Hitoshi, wake up. We should get back to class. I continued to play with his face, lightly pinching his cheeks by now. Before he opened his eyes and glared at me, he pushed away my hands and sat up next to me. Come on, Toshi, there's 30 minutes left, so they probably changed back into normal uniforms and are in the classroom. I excitedly swung my legs over the bed and stood up. Then the fatigue hit me like a truck, and I stumbled a bit upon strong hands helping me straight up. You sure you can handle getting there, Yin? The purple boy asked, shaking his arm around my waist once again. Giving him a cheeky smile, I replied, as long as you're there, Hitoshi. I tilted my head slightly, and he scoffed and flicked my forehead. Whatever, you idiot. Thanks, Toshi. When we made it to the locker rooms, we parted ways and changed out of our hero costumes and into our normal school uniforms. I came out of the room and smiled as the tired boy who was leaning against the wall waiting for me. He stuck out his elbow out and put his hand in his pocket. Let's go. I slid my arm to interlock with his and slightly clinging to his biceps as we headed towards our classroom. Once we opened the door, he dropped me off at my seat and I whispered a quiet, "Thanks, Hitoshi," before he went to his own seat. For some reason, I felt more eyes on me than usual, but I brushed it off because we came in late. Mr. Aizawa had assigned some homework, and the bell rang, causing our teacher to leave the room while dragging a sleeping bag behind him. Suddenly, Mina pounced my desk and smacked my desk with the palms of her hands. "Why didn't you tell me you and Shinsou were a thing?" she loudly asked, causing the eyes of our classmates to shift towards us, and some come closer to my desk. I merely blinked a bit, still absorbing the situation of what was going on. Lin and Shinsou. Since when? Shinsou got a girl before me? Why does that fucking matter? My brain couldn't keep up with a random outburst. I looked over to Hitoshi, unsure what to do or what to say. Hitoshi walked over to my desk and gave me his hand to help me out of my desk and away towards the crowd. He led me to the door, stopping momentarily to address the still excitement and hyper crowd. He gave them all a smirk and held my hand in his warm one. Instead of reverberating pride, he turned and kissed my forehead softly and led me out of the classroom. Needless to say, I'm starting screaming as we left. I'm sorry, guys. I get a fangirl. Oh, wait, was that it? No, that was it. I don't get to fangirl anymore. No, that means I have to go. Man. Oh. Anyways, guys, sorry that you guys get to hear me bitch and moan that there was a final chapter, but basically I'm gonna be gone for a bit so I can find a new story for you guys, and I'm gonna apologize right now. So I'm so sorry for all the ones who don't get a video.